morning. So today we're going to be running you through the end-to-end SuccessFactors solution. What you can see on our current screen is the SuccessFactors homepage, which we've configured a little bit with some custom tiles for the simplicity of this demo. We're going to start the demonstration with recruitment. We're then going to transition onto onboarding, then learning, then transition into set and aligning our goals, performance reviews, doing the follow-up compensation, then closing off with development, then succession planning. So let's now kick off into the recruitment module. What SuccessFactors can cover is the end-to-end recruiting lifecycle. Today, we're just going to be focusing though on the role of a hiring manager. As a hiring manager, on the left here, I can see all the current open requisitions for our company. In this case, we're going to be focusing on one, the requisition for a new sales manager. So I can just drill into that. Now what we can see are all the current candidates on our left who are currently new applicants. And here we can see their status. Running along the top of the screen, however, is the recruiting flow. Whereas candidates progress through our recruitment processes, we can move them from new application to potentially the next step. And it's quite easy to do this. We can simply move candidates from stage to stage by dragging and dropping. With the review carousel, I can select multiple candidates and view all their resumes at once. Here it's quite easy to flick through and read their resumes. Now in this case, if I like a candidate, straight from the resume carousel, I can then move them into the next phase. And that candidate's moved. I can select that candidate and even push out automated emails. So let's say, for example, this candidate doesn't make it to the next stage. I can select one of our standard email templates and push out a mail straight to that new recruit. We can now fast forward to interview time. And let's open up the Interview Central to see how that would play out. Here we can see all our current candidates to be interviewed on the left. What we can do is for this candidate, in this case Adam Anderson, the system can automatically generate us a print and go pack to take to that interview. I can open that up and see at a high level the candidate's resume and even view all the duties and responsibilities for this role that I should be qualifying him for. We can quite easily print this pack and take it into the interview. Let's jump into where we'd rate this candidate. Here we can see the overall assessment reviewer. Post-interview, I can come in here and hand out my ratings. I can even leave comments based on the interview. We can upload that into any interview notes we may have taken, such as that print and go pack from just before. And of course, overall, we can give that candidate a thumbs up or thumbs down ranking. Now let's say that candidate's now made it through to the final stage. Straight from the tool, we can even send an offer letter and push that out to the candidate. Upon completion, upon approval, we can now straight from the system push that new hire candidate into our next onboarding module. And that's it. This brings us to the next stage of our life cycle, onboarding. The candidate's now been recruited and is ready to join up at our company. What we want to do within onboarding is really simplify that new hire experience, provide all the information at the candidate's fingertips, but at the same time streamline that information collection for our management team. So let's kick that off. The system can automatically send out an email to any new hires who are coming on board to direct them straight into the system. Of course, you can configure these emails the way you'd like. So I'm a new hire and I'm feeling welcome to our team. I can simply straight from the email click the new hire employee wizard and jump into the system. Now this will launch straight into the tool where I'll be guided through my onboarding process. Here we go. At the top of the screen, we can see an automatic message from our manager, just to make me feel a little bit at home. Now we can start off that onboarding process. The first task, I can be given all my paperwork to complete on that first day. Fill in all that relevant information. In the presence of time, let's not do that for now though. The next step I can do is start updating all my personal information, my details, maybe my preferred name. As a manager, I can also allocate all the people that the new hire has to meet. I can put a photo of myself in the system, allocate a buddy, and even put in any other team members that the new hire will be working with. We can also add a to-do list. So again, we're reducing the time to productivity. Put a list of activities that the new hire needs to do, be it HR meetings, meetings with IT, even the new hire goal plan could be put in the to-do list. Any prepared e-learnings even. We can assign any links we may have, show a high-level view of all the new hire's peers, and even create a new hire learning plan. So now that that's completed, let's now have a look at that from the manager's perspective. And we log in. As a manager, I can have a complete bird's eye view of all new hires starting up at our company. We can break down this by all the different steps that new hires might be going through. We can select this and view all our current new hires going through the new hire employee step. Now let's have a look at the manager's view, how I could create that onboarding process. We simply open up the new hire activities wizard, where we're guided through step by step how to create that simple experience for our new hires. We can write that welcome message, recommend any links to visit, schedule meetings, assign buddies, and even allocate resources. Now this is quite powerful. Straight from the tool, we can allocate iPhone or any corporate Amex cards the new hire might have, and their computer straight from the tool. This will automatically send out emails to IT so that you can ensure that when your new hire starts, all the information's there and ready to go. And let's transition back to the home screen. So that's onboarding from a really high level. SuccessFactors also has a very comprehensive learning module, where as an employee, I can see and manage all of my learnings and even find new ones that I want to take on. As a manager, I can manage all of my team's learnings, assign learnings to my team as a collective or just to individuals. Let's now have a look at how that plays out by opening up the learning module. So from the perspective of an employee, I can see up on the left, I've got all my learning that's been assigned to me. I can see in this case, this learning's been 13 days overdue, so I should probably register for that now. Here, I can view all the information about this learning, the course time, register it now, even assign it to other team members. We can also build out learning curriculum from the tool, where this is basically a collection of multiple learnings in the one curriculum. In this case, it's a sales excellence curriculum. I can open this up, have a look at the high-level overview, potentially any instructors, and a breakdown of the training. If I open up the course list tab, I can see all the different assignments that comprise this curriculum. From the tool as well, we have the ability to find new learnings. Let's say in this case, I want to learn a little bit more about safety. I can fill in the box and search. We then have the ability to filter down on all the results to find exactly what we're looking for. In this case, let's only view online learning material. And here's the course I'm looking for. I can select that and assign it to myself. Let's now have a look at learning from the perspective of a manager. On the left here, I can see my entire team. And each time I select a different employee, I can see all their learnings that they're currently working on. We can then report on any overdue learnings and any additional learnings employees might be taking on board. We can assign or remove learnings to the team by selecting and searching just like we did before. We then select which employees we'd like to assign the learnings to. And we can add them just like that. So that's learning from a very high level. And let's come back home. The employee's now been hired, onboarded, and we've assigned all the necessary learnings. It's now come the time where we need to set and align our employees' goals to that of the organization's. By opening up the goal module, as an employee, I can see all the different goals that have been assigned to me, broken down by category, be it financial, customer, or business process, for example. If I want to add new goals, I can quite easily hit the Add New button. We can create a new goal from scratch, use the Smart Goal Wizard to build a goal, or actually copy goals from other goal plans. By opening up the wizard, I'm guided through this simple 5-step process on creating my goals. Let's have a look now at how we can cascade our goals from the manager down to my team. I simply select the goal I want, open up Cascade, and choose the relevant team members. When I push Next, this goal will now appear in their goal plan. We can even see how our goals are aligned not just up to our manager, but how our goals are aligned down to our team. By updating this, I can now see that my 50% revenue contribution is aligned to my manager's goal of market share growth. But at the same time, I'm going to achieve that goal by correctly aligning that to my team. Let's now have a look at how we can manage performance reviews by pulling in these goals at review time. Let's open up our performance review module. So again, fast forward through time and it's performance review period. As a manager, I can see all my employees down the side and where they're at in the performance review process. Based on your business requirements, we can build out this performance review flow. In our case, the first thing we do is collect feedback from others. For Vic, I can ask his teammates and even external colleagues for feedback. Let's now open up that proper review process. So this is the performance review form. Again, here we see along the top is that route map that we can configure to your business needs. In this stage, Dean has currently reviewed himself. And what we're going to do now is sit down with Dean and have a one-to-one managerial review. If we scroll down, we can see all those goals automatically pulled in from the previous goal module. On the right, I can see how Dean's read himself and given himself a bit of a performance review. I can then add my comments on the left. If I scroll down, we can also see competencies. Competencies such as communication, customer focus, they're going to help Dean achieve his previous goals. Now, in the presence of time, managers can use the writing assistant to speed up that review process. If I open up the writing assistant, I can quite easily select different quotes that are relevant to that competency. We can even adjust the positivity or negativity and place that quote. We also have the option to use a legal scan, just to make sure that any comments we've written are ethically and legally sound. Lastly, we can even capture that their employee's development plan within our review form, where we can straight away add new learning activities for our integrated learning module to make sure they're not just achieving their goals, but building on their competencies, driving employee performance and engagement. Let's now have a look at our integrated compensation module. So after performance review time, we now need to sit down and allocate out our compensations. However, how do we manage these budgets and how do we reward our employees appropriately? What we can see over the left under review rating is automatically based on our employees' performance reviews, the system's pulled that information and presented it to us quite simply. I can see that in this case, Mark is outstanding. However, Sid performed at an unsatisfactory level. The system can then automatically build out based on our budgets the amount of merit we should be paying our employees. So let's try and pay Sid Morton, for example. We want to give Sid a bonus. Let's first try to give him a 3% merit bonus. The system will alert us and say, hey, for this performance rating, 3% is too high. The maximum is 2%. We can go back, swap that to 1% maybe, and that checks out. It falls within our budget. We're now going to have a look at our last two modules, development and succession planning. Within the development plan, we can see something very similar to what we saw within the performance reviews, that same development plan. Just like in the goal module, users can intuitively add new goals to their development plan. You can put in information such as, have I actually started this development goal? And what's the purpose? Is it for a current role? Or am I building a development plan to take me to the next stage of my career, my future role? We can also build out career worksheets. Employees can write down different career paths they're looking forward to, they're trying to achieve. And below that, we can compare the competencies. In this case, integrity and ethics required for this next role are a 4, but currently I'm at a 3. Let's add a development goal to close that gap and make me ready for that next stage of my career. I can even select the career I'm looking for and see that career path built out. And let's come home. Let's now have a look at our succession planning module. Here I can see a high-level snapshot of my team from an org chart perspective. I can see my position at the top and all my team members below. The powerful thing about the succession tool is we can even start building out our team members' chance of loss. In this case, we can see Vic Stokes, who's one of our sales director, in a very strategic area, has actually a medium chance of loss. When we click on Vic's card, we can see fast access to different components of his profile to assist us in planning out this succession plan. What we do in this case is want to find a successor for Vic. I can do that by selecting the drop-down and finding new successors. What we're going to do today is an advanced talent search. Now, an advanced talent search is where we can build out all the search criteria we want to find the best candidate for this position. We can set everything from title, location, any formal education they may have, such as a business degree or a master's degree, and even build out any of those criteria. The same criteria we saw in our development plan and performance reviews. When I search, the system will automatically pop up a list of our top candidates. Let's now analyze the top two. Here we can see a comparison between Dean and James based on their competencies. We can drill in and access any information about these candidates that's stored within the system. For example, talent flags. Now in this case, because Dean had the highest total match percentage, we want to nominate him to be the next successor. I simply proceed. And as a manager, I can select how ready Dean is and what ranking he should be on the bench. In this case, we reckon he's number 1. Upon nomination, he is now added to the top successor for Vic Stokes. This is updated in Dean's profile, so he can now see that he has a succession plan and room to grow within the company, again, driving employee engagement. So that concludes our SuccessFactors demo from a very, very high level. Thanks for listening.